Hello, everyone. I am Elena, your host for today's lesson, and I am so glad you are here with me today. If this is your first time joining us, I want you to know that we release a brand new English learning video every single day because we believe that daily practice is the secret to real fluency. Today, we have something truly special prepared for you. We are going to take a deep dive into a completely new set of C2 level vocabulary words. These are words that you will not find in beginner or intermediate lessons. These are the words that separate a good English speaker from a truly exceptional one. We are going to explore each word through its meaning, its feeling, its context, and its real-life use. By the time this lesson ends, you will have a rich new collection of powerful words ready to use in your conversations, your writing, and your thinking. This is not just a vocabulary list. This is a journey into the deeper layers of the English language. So please, grab your notebook, find a quiet place, and let us begin this beautiful adventure together. Let us open gently with a word that immediately adds intelligence to your speech, the word deliberate. As an adjective, deliberate means done intentionally, carefully, and with full awareness. As a verb, it means to think carefully before making a decision. You can say, his movements were slow and deliberate, meaning every step was planned and intentional. Or, the committee deliberated for hours before reaching a verdict. The beauty of this word is its calmness. When you say something was deliberate, you suggest control, purpose, and thoughtfulness. She made a deliberate choice. He spoke in a deliberate and measured tone. The plan was deliberate and well considered. Notice how deliberate changes the texture of each sentence. It removes randomness. It suggests awareness. That is exactly what advanced vocabulary does. It allows you to say more with fewer words. Now let us try something slightly different. Think about your own life for a moment. When was the last time you made a deliberate decision? Maybe you deliberately chose to study English today. Maybe you deliberately changed a habit. When you start connecting vocabulary to your personal experience, the word becomes yours. It stops being just a definition and starts becoming part of your thinking. That is the beginning of true fluency. Now, let us explore a word that describes a quality many people admire, but few can name. The word steadfast. Steadfast means firmly committed, loyal, and unwavering in your beliefs or actions. You can say, she remained steadfast in her decision despite the pressure. Or, he is a steadfast supporter of his team. Steadfast is a beautiful old word that carries strength without aggression. It is quiet power. She is steadfast in her values. His steadfast determination led him to success. They remained steadfast even when others gave up. Now, let us build a small scene. Imagine a person who is learning a new language. Even when it is difficult, even when progress feels slow, they continue every single day. You could describe them as steadfast, a steadfast learner who never gives up. Do you see how one word can describe an entire personality? That is the power of advanced vocabulary. It compresses meaning beautifully. Let us now add another word that pairs naturally with steadfast, the word resolute. Resolute means admirably determined and unwavering in purpose. While steadfast describes loyalty and commitment, resolute describes strength of decision. She was resolute in her refusal. He made a resolute choice and never looked back. A resolute mind is not easily shaken. She stood resolute. His resolute attitude inspired the whole team. A resolute decision changes everything. Now, try connecting both words in one sentence. She was steadfast in her loyalty and resolute in her purpose. That is the voice of a C2 speaker. Rich, layered, and precise. At the C2 level, we also begin to notice that words have what we call register. Register means the level of formality or context in which a word is used. For example, the word diligent is formal and used in professional or academic contexts. It means hardworking, careful, and persistent. She is a diligent student. He approached every task with diligent attention. The report was produced through diligent research. Compare diligent to the casual word hardworking. Both are correct, but diligent sounds more measured and professional. It suggests not just effort, but careful and consistent effort. Be diligent in your studies. She handled the project with diligent care. Diligence is what separates average from excellent. Now, let us build on this. Pair diligence with another elevated word, rigorous. Rigorous means extremely thorough, precise, and demanding. A rigorous approach leaves no detail unchecked. The training was rigorous, but incredibly effective. She conducted a rigorous analysis of the data. The examination was rigorous. His methods were rigorous and well documented. A rigorous process leads to reliable results. Together, diligent and rigorous describe the highest standard of effort, and when you use them naturally, your English immediately sounds mature, academic, and fluent. Now, let us go one step further with a third word in this family, conscientious. Conscientious means being careful to do things correctly and thoroughly, guided by a strong sense of responsibility. She is a conscientious worker who never cuts corners. He takes a conscientious approach to every task. Being conscientious means caring about the quality of what you do, not just the outcome. She is incredibly conscientious. His conscientious nature makes him reliable. A conscientious effort always shows in the results. Together, diligent, rigorous, and conscientious create a portrait of a person who does not just work hard, but works with full awareness, care, and precision. That portrait belongs to you as a C2 English learner. Now, let us move into emotion, because advanced English is not only about intelligence, it is about feeling. The word poignant means something that touches you emotionally, something deeply moving and sometimes bittersweet. You can say the movie had a poignant ending, or her letter was poignant and full of love. That memory is deeply poignant. There is something quiet about this word. It does not shout emotion, it whispers it. And that is what makes it so powerful. That was a poignant moment. The photograph was poignant and beautiful. His farewell was poignant and heartfelt. Now, let us expand further. When something is poignant, it often touches a place inside us that we did not expect. Think about a song that made you feel something unexpectedly, or a sentence in a book that stayed with you long after you finished reading. Those moments are poignant. They are small but lasting. Try using this word today. Describe one poignant moment from your own life, even in your native language. Then translate the feeling into English using the word poignant. I had a poignant conversation with my father last week. Or, the end of summer always feels poignant to me. When vocabulary connects to real emotion, it never leaves your memory. Now, let us add a companion word, evocative. Something evocative has the power to bring strong memories, feelings, or images to mind. That piece of music is deeply evocative. The old photograph was evocative of a simpler time. Her writing is evocative and full of sensory detail. That smell is evocative of childhood. His voice is evocative and warm. The painting is evocative of loss and hope at the same time. Poignant and evocative belong together. Poignant describes the emotional weight of something. Evocative describes its power to call up memory and feeling. When you use both, your language becomes both precise and deeply human. Let us now explore a word that belongs to both thought and action. Pragmatic. Pragmatic means dealing with things in a practical and realistic way, rather than following theory or ideals too strictly. For example, she is a pragmatic thinker who focuses on solutions. Or, we need a pragmatic approach to this problem. He is not a dreamer. He is pragmatic. This word is extremely common in professional and academic English. People use it to describe someone who gets things done without getting lost in abstract ideas. A pragmatic solution is always better than a perfect theory. She is pragmatic, efficient, and solution-focused. The company took a pragmatic stance on the issue. Now, let us contrast pragmatic with another useful word, idealistic. Idealistic means having high ideals, perhaps even unrealistic ones. She is idealistic, always hoping for the best. He has idealistic views about the world. These two words create a natural tension, pragmatic and idealistic, realistic and hopeful. And at the C2 level, you learn to hold both truths at once. For example, you might say, she is idealistic in her goals, but pragmatic in her methods. Do you hear how that sentence carries depth? It describes a person fully and beautifully. That is what advanced English sounds like. Now, let us add a third word to deepen this cluster, judicious. Judicious means having or showing good judgment, making decisions that are wise and careful. A judicious leader does not act impulsively. She made a judicious choice under pressure. His judicious use of words prevented any misunderstanding. Be judicious in your approach. Her judicious response calmed the situation. A judicious decision considers every side. Pragmatic tells us someone is practical. Idealistic tells us someone has vision. And judicious tells us someone is wise. Together, they describe the complete thinker. Now, let us look at a rich word that describes a specific kind of thinking. Speculative. It means based on theory or guessing, not on confirmed facts. A speculative idea is one that has not yet been proven. For example, the theory is still speculative, or He made a speculative investment that paid off. Her speculative writing explores futures that do not yet exist. Advanced speakers use this word in academic discussions, business, philosophy, and even in casual conversation about big ideas. That is speculative at this point. His conclusions were somewhat speculative. The meeting involved a lot of speculative discussion. Now, here is a deeper exercise. Think about a topic you are uncertain about in your own life. Maybe you wonder about your future career. You could say, "My plans are still somewhat speculative. I am considering several possibilities." This is exactly how native speakers express uncertainty at a high level. Not by saying, "I do not know," but by using words like speculative, uncertain, or inconclusive to describe the state of an idea. Let us now add an important academic word that pairs with speculative: conjecture. Conjecture means an opinion or theory formed without sufficient proof. At this point, everything we know is conjecture. His argument was based on conjecture, not evidence. She offered an interesting conjecture about the future of language. That is pure conjecture. His conjecture was intriguing but unverifiable. Without data, we can only conjecture. Speculative and conjecture both live in the space between what we know and what we imagine. Mastering them allows you to participate confidently in academic and intellectual discussions. Let us now explore a beautiful and useful word: discern. To discern means to recognize or notice something that is not immediately obvious. To see or understand something clearly despite difficulty. For example, it is hard to discern his true feelings from his expression. She can discern quality from imitation. He discerned a subtle shift in her tone. This word belongs to the world of perception and intelligence. When you discern something, you are doing more than seeing. You are understanding deeply. I cannot discern the difference clearly yet. She has the ability to discern truth from fiction. To discern patterns takes both skill and patience. Now let us add a connected word: astute. Astute means having an ability to accurately assess situations or people and to turn this to one's advantage. She is an astute observer. His astute analysis impressed everyone in the room. It takes an astute mind to see what others miss. She made an astute observation. He is astute in business decisions. An astute leader reads the room before speaking. Together, discern and astute describe the highest level of perceptive thinking. When you discern, you see clearly. When you are astute, you act wisely on what you see. That combination is the mark of a truly advanced thinker and speaker. Now, let us pause and breathe for a moment. You are doing beautifully. Each word you are learning today is building a new layer of expression inside you. Let us continue with a word that describes excellence in a very particular way: exemplary. It means serving as a perfect example, outstanding and worthy of being followed. Her conduct was exemplary. He delivered an exemplary performance. The project was exemplary in every aspect. It is a word often used in school reports, professional reviews, and formal discussions, but it can also appear in everyday speech to express genuine admiration. Her dedication was truly exemplary. That is an exemplary way to handle a difficult situation. He is known for his exemplary character. Now, let us connect this to something personal. Think about someone in your life whose behavior you admire deeply. How would you describe them using exemplary? Maybe you would say, "My teacher's patience was exemplary," or "My colleague's work ethic is exemplary." Using this word in personal context makes it feel natural and real. And that is exactly how vocabulary grows from memory into instinct. Now let us add another word that belongs to this world of excellence: laudable. Laudable means deserving praise and commendation. Her efforts were laudable despite the difficult circumstances. It is laudable that he chose honesty over comfort. That decision was laudable and showed great integrity. That was a laudable achievement. Her patience in this situation is truly laudable. Every laudable effort deserves recognition. Exemplary and laudable both express admiration, but exemplary means something serves as a model to follow, while laudable simply means it deserves praise. This small but meaningful difference is exactly the kind of nuance that defines C2 English. Let us now explore words that describe the way ideas and feelings exist together. To feel conflicted means to have opposing emotions or desires about something at the same time. I feel conflicted about this decision. He looked conflicted when he heard the news. She felt conflicted between loyalty and honesty. This word is deeply human. It acknowledges that life is not always simple. Advanced speakers use this word when discussing complex emotions honestly. I am conflicted. I am torn between my heart and my logic. He seemed conflicted throughout the conversation. She was conflicted, but ultimately made her choice. Now, let us move to a companion word, reconcile. To reconcile means to bring two conflicting things into harmony or to accept a difficult situation. He struggled to reconcile his dreams with reality. She reconciled her past with her present. They reconciled their differences and moved forward. I am learning to reconcile my expectations with what is real. It is not easy to reconcile these two ideas. True growth means learning to reconcile contradiction. Together, conflicted and reconcile tell a beautiful story of the human journey. We feel torn, we search for peace, and eventually, we reconcile. That is life expressed in language. Now, let us add a third word that completes this emotional story: cathartic. Something cathartic provides emotional release and relief. Writing about your feelings can be cathartic. That conversation was difficult, but ultimately cathartic. Crying at a sad film is deeply cathartic. I found the experience cathartic. She described the process as cathartic and healing. A cathartic moment of honesty changed everything between them. When we feel conflicted, we search for reconciliation, and when we find it, the experience is often cathartic. These three words together describe the complete emotional arc of resolution. That is storytelling through vocabulary. Now, let us explore a cluster of words that describe the quality of speech and writing at an advanced level. The first is verbose. Verbose means using more words than necessary, speaking or writing at excessive length. His explanation was verbose. She tends to be verbose when nervous. A good writer is concise, not verbose. Now, the opposite of verbose is succinct. Succinct means expressed clearly in just a few words. Her answer was succinct and powerful. He gave a succinct summary of the report. I prefer succinct communication over lengthy explanations. Avoid being verbose. Be succinct and clear. A succinct explanation is always more impressive than a verbose one. Now, let us add another advanced word in this family, pellucid. Pellucid means extremely clear in style or meaning, easy to understand and transparent in thought. Her writing is pellucid. His argument was pellucid and logically sound. A pellucid explanation always reflects deep understanding. This is a rare, elevated word that will immediately set your English apart. A pellucid explanation. Her thoughts were pellucid and precise. Now, let us add one final word to this cluster, cogent. Cogent means clear, logical, and convincing. A cogent argument is one that is so well structured it is difficult to disagree with. She made a cogent case for the changes. His cogent reasoning convinced the entire team. A cogent explanation requires both clarity and logic. That was a cogent argument. Her reasoning was cogent and hard to refute. Present your ideas in a cogent and organized way. Verbose, succinct, pellucid, and cogent. Together, these four words give you a complete vocabulary for describing the quality of communication. You will use them in academic writing, professional feedback, and thoughtful conversation. Let us now enter the world of philosophy and advanced thought. Because C2 English often ventures into ideas that are bigger than everyday life. The word existential means relating to the meaning or nature of human existence. An existential question is one that goes to the heart of what it means to be alive. He is going through an existential crisis, questioning everything about his life. That is an existential question without a simple answer. The novel explores existential themes about identity and purpose. That is an existential question. He is facing an existential challenge. Existential awareness makes us appreciate the present moment. Now let us connect this to another reflective word, temporal. Temporal means relating to time, or more specifically, relating to the physical world as opposed to the spiritual one. We often forget how temporal our problems are. His temporal concerns were far from the bigger picture. A temporal perspective helps us see that nothing lasts forever. Everything is temporal. Her temporal worries faded over time. In a temporal world, only meaning endures. These words, existential and temporal, belong to the language of deep thought. When you use them, you show that your English is not just functional, it is philosophical. Now let us add a third word to complete this philosophical cluster: transitory. Transitory means not permanent, lasting only for a short time. Fame is transitory, but impact endures. The pain felt transitory compared to the lesson it taught. Human life itself is transitory, which is why meaning matters. Happiness can feel transitory. His success was real, but transitory. Even the hardest seasons are transitory. Existential, temporal, and transitory together create the language of philosophy. They allow you to discuss life, time, and meaning at the deepest level. Now let us explore something more grounded but equally powerful: the word formidable. It means inspiring fear or respect through impressive size, ability, or strength. She is a formidable opponent. The challenge ahead is formidable, but not impossible. He built a formidable reputation over many years. The task was formidable. She faced a formidable challenge with grace. He is a formidable thinker. Notice how formidable carries respect. It does not mean scary in a negative way. It means impressively powerful. And when you describe yourself or someone else as facing a formidable challenge, you add dignity to the difficulty. Now let us pair this with another strong word: daunting. Daunting means making you feel intimidated or discouraged because of the size or difficulty of something. The journey ahead felt daunting. Public speaking can be daunting for many people. The amount of vocabulary in English is daunting at first. Do not let the goal feel too daunting. That was a daunting but rewarding experience. She took on a daunting task and succeeded. Formidable and daunting are often used together in English, but they differ. Formidable describes the challenge itself as something powerful and impressive. Daunting describes how the challenge makes you feel. One is about the thing, the other is about your reaction to it. That is the nuance of advanced English. Let us now add a third word in this space: Herculean. Herculean means requiring extraordinary effort or strength. It was a Herculean effort. She completed the task through Herculean determination. Finishing the project on time was a Herculean feat. That was a Herculean challenge. He approached it with Herculean dedication. Nothing is impossible with Herculean effort and belief. Formidable, daunting, and Herculean together give you a complete vocabulary for talking about great challenges in a way that sounds both sophisticated and alive. Let us now look at a word that describes how we change and grow: malleable. It means flexible, able to be shaped or influenced. When used to describe people or ideas, it suggests openness to change and adaptation. Young minds are incredibly malleable. The plan was malleable enough to be adjusted. She has a malleable perspective that allows her to grow. Stay malleable in your thinking. His opinions were malleable, shaped by experience. A malleable approach to learning leads to faster growth. Now let us contrast this with another word, rigid. Rigid means inflexible, unwilling or unable to change. His thinking is too rigid to adapt. She held on to a rigid idea that no longer served her. Rigid systems often fail when circumstances shift. Together, malleable and rigid create a clear contrast. The best learners, the best thinkers, the best leaders are malleable. They adapt, they grow, they remain open. Now, here is a challenge. Think about one area of your life where you have been too rigid, and think about how becoming more malleable could help you. Then express this thought in English. I have been too rigid about my routine. Perhaps a more malleable approach would bring better results. That is advanced English thinking. Let us now add a third word to this group, adaptable. Adaptable means able to change or be changed in order to deal with new situations successfully. She is naturally adaptable. He adapted quickly to the new environment. Adaptability is one of the most valued qualities in the modern world. Stay adaptable in a changing world. Her adaptable nature made her successful in many roles. True resilience is built on adaptability. Malleable and adaptable are close in meaning, but malleable suggests being shaped by external forces, while adaptable suggests actively choosing to adjust. Both are essential qualities for a C2 learner and for life. Now let us move into a part of the lesson that explores words used in professional and intellectual settings. The first is corroborate. It means to confirm or support a statement or idea with additional evidence. The witness corroborated the story. Her data corroborated the initial findings. He could not corroborate his claims with evidence. Do you have anything to corroborate this? The findings were corroborated by multiple sources. She corroborated his account with detailed notes. Now let us pair it with another important word, substantiate. It means to provide evidence to prove or support something. She was unable to substantiate her claims. The research substantiates the theory. You need facts to substantiate your argument. Please substantiate your point with examples. His findings were well substantiated. Without evidence, you cannot substantiate a claim. Now let us add a third word to complete this cluster, validate. Validate means to demonstrate or support the truth or value of something. Her results validated the theory. He needed external validation to feel confident. The experiment validated years of research. That response validated her feelings. His work was validated by the results. You do not need others to validate your worth. Corroborate, substantiate, and validate all deal with confirmation and proof. Learning when to use each one makes your academic and professional English truly exceptional. Let us now explore words that speak to deeper emotional states. The word disquieted means to feel uneasy, anxious, or disturbed, especially about something uncertain. She felt disquieted by the sudden silence. The news left him disquieted for days. There was something disquieting about the atmosphere. I felt disquieted after hearing the news. His absence left me disquieted. There was a disquieting quality to her words. Now let us add one more, unnerving. It means causing you to feel nervous or lose confidence. The silence was unnerving. That question was unnerving but fair. The sudden change of plans was slightly unnerving. It was unnerving at first, but I adapted. She remained calm despite the unnerving situation. Do not let pressure be unnerving. Use it as fuel. Let us now add a third emotional word, perturbed. Perturbed means feeling anxiety or unsettlement, slightly disturbed by something unexpected. He was visibly perturbed by the sudden change. She tried not to appear perturbed, but her voice gave her away. I was a little perturbed by his tone. I was perturbed but remained calm. She tried not to show how perturbed she felt. His expression was quietly perturbed. Disquieted, unnerving, and perturbed all describe forms of anxiety and disturbance, but they differ in intensity and texture. Disquieted is deep and reflective. Unnerving describes the cause. Perturbed describes the person's response. Using all three precisely shows extraordinary emotional intelligence in language. Now let us explore a word that describes the way ideas evolve: germinate. It literally means when a seed begins to grow, but at an advanced level, it is used metaphorically to describe how an idea begins to form and develop. The concept germinated slowly in his mind. It took months for the idea to germinate into a full plan. Great creativity often begins with a small thought that germinates quietly. Ideas germinate from experience. The project germinated from a simple conversation. Let your thoughts germinate before you act on them. Now pair this with another organic word, flourish. It means to grow or develop in a healthy and vigorous way. With practice, her vocabulary began to flourish. The project flourished once the right team was in place. Children flourish when they feel safe and supported. Let your ideas flourish. He flourished in the new environment. With consistency, your English will flourish. Now let us add a third word, proliferate. It means to grow rapidly and spread widely. Social media has caused misinformation to proliferate. Ideas can proliferate when the right environment exists. His influence began to proliferate throughout the organization. Good habits can proliferate with consistency. Her ideas proliferated quickly in the right environment. Innovation proliferates when creativity is welcomed. Germinate, flourish, and proliferate describe three stages of growth: beginning, thriving, and spreading. Together, they give you a complete and elegant vocabulary for talking about development and change. Let us now look at a set of words that relate to language itself. The word rhetoric means the art of using language effectively and persuasively. But it can also mean language used in a way that sounds impressive but lacks real substance. He is skilled in rhetoric. The speech was full of political rhetoric. Good communication goes beyond empty rhetoric. She used powerful rhetoric to make her point. His rhetoric was convincing, but lacked evidence. True leadership is about action, not just rhetoric. Now let us add a related word, discourse. It means communication or discussion, especially of a serious or academic nature. A discourse about education. The public discourse around mental health has improved. He engaged in thoughtful discourse with his colleagues. The discourse in that meeting was excellent. She contributed to the discourse thoughtfully. Healthy discourse leads to better understanding. Now let us add a third word in this family, lexicon. A lexicon refers to the vocabulary of a person, language, or subject. Every field has its own lexicon. She is constantly expanding her personal lexicon. His lexicon reflects years of reading and reflection. Develop your lexicon every day. That word is not part of my current lexicon, but it will be soon. A rich lexicon is the foundation of fluent communication. Rhetoric, discourse, and lexicon together give you a sophisticated toolkit for talking about language itself. And when you can talk about language at this level, you have truly arrived at C2. Now let us shift to words about perspective and bias. The word subjective means based on personal opinions, feelings, or experiences, not objective facts. Art is subjective. Beauty is subjective. His opinion is subjective but thoughtful. Now the opposite, objective, means based on facts, not influenced by personal feelings. Try to stay objective when evaluating evidence. An objective analysis leads to better decisions. She gave an objective summary of the situation. Now let us add one more important word, bias. Bias means an inclination or tendency that prevents fair judgment. We all carry some form of bias. Confirmation bias means only accepting information that confirms what you already believe. Recognizing your own bias is a sign of emotional maturity. Be aware of your own bias. Her analysis was affected by personal bias. Overcoming bias requires patience and honesty. Now let us add one final word that belongs to this intellectual family, impartial. Impartial means treating all sides equally and not favoring one over another. A good judge must be impartial. She gave an impartial assessment of both options. Try to remain impartial when mediating a conflict. His review was fair and impartial. She prided herself on impartial judgment. An impartial perspective builds trust. Subjective, objective, biased, and impartial together create a complete picture of how we think and evaluate. Mastering these 4 words gives your English critical depth and academic precision. Now let us explore words connected to time and change. The word fleeting means lasting only for a short time, passing quickly. It was a fleeting moment of happiness. The feeling was fleeting but real. She caught a fleeting glimpse of the sunset. Fleeting moments are the most precious. That feeling was fleeting but powerful. I hold on to those fleeting memories. Now let us connect this to another elegant word, enduring. It means lasting for a long time, or surviving despite challenges. Their friendship is enduring. He left an enduring impact on everyone he met. The novel has enduring relevance even today. That was a fleeting joy, but an enduring lesson. Some relationships are fleeting, Others are enduring. What matters is not the length, but the depth. Let us add a third word that deepens this theme: indelible. Indelible means making marks that cannot be removed or forgotten. That experience left an indelible mark on her. His kindness left an indelible impression. Some moments are indelible. They stay with you forever. That memory is indelible. Her words had an indelible effect on me. He left an indelible legacy. Fleeting, enduring, and indelible describe the spectrum of time and memory. What passes quickly, what lasts, and what can never be erased. These three words give your language a beautiful relationship with time itself. Let us now move to a word that describes one of the most important qualities in human communication. Compassion means a deep feeling of concern and sympathy for someone who is suffering, along with the desire to help. She responded with compassion and grace. He showed compassion toward those in need. True leadership is rooted in compassion. Speak with compassion. She listened with compassion and without judgment. Compassion transforms ordinary communication into something healing. Now let us add a related word: altruistic. It means showing a selfless concern for others, doing things for the benefit of others without personal gain. She volunteered for altruistic reasons. He is genuinely altruistic. It was an altruistic act of kindness. True kindness is altruistic. An altruistic leader puts the team before themselves. She is known for her altruistic spirit. Now let us add a third word: magnanimous. Magnanimous means generous and forgiving, especially towards someone you could reasonably be unkind to. He was magnanimous in victory. She showed a magnanimous spirit by forgiving him. It takes a magnanimous heart to let go of resentment. Try to be magnanimous even when others are unkind. His response was calm and magnanimous. They praised her for her magnanimous attitude. Compassionate, altruistic, and magnanimous together describe a person whose strength is expressed through kindness. That is one of the most powerful portraits language can create. Now let us learn some words that describe how we solve problems and think creatively. The word lateral means thinking in a creative and unconventional way, finding unexpected solutions. Lateral thinking often leads to innovation. He solved the problem through lateral thinking. We need lateral ideas to break through this challenge. Think laterally. She approaches problems with lateral creativity. Lateral thinking is a skill that can be learned. Now let us add another thinking word: synthesize. It means to combine different ideas, information, or elements into a unified whole. She synthesized multiple theories into one clear argument. He can synthesize complex data into simple insights. A good learner synthesizes information quickly. Synthesize what you have learned. She synthesized her research beautifully. To synthesize is to go beyond collecting and begin creating. Now let us add a third word: extrapolate. It means to extend a known trend or fact into an unknown area to make predictions or draw conclusions. From the data, we can extrapolate several trends. She extrapolated the findings to a broader population. It is risky to extrapolate too far beyond what the evidence shows. Do not over-extrapolate from limited data. He was careful about what he could extrapolate. Extrapolating from small samples can lead to incorrect conclusions. Lateral, synthesize, and extrapolate describe three dimensions of advanced thinking: creative, integrative, and predictive. These three intellectual moves are what separate average analysis from exceptional insight. Let us now approach words about identity, meaning, and the journey of life. The word intrinsic means existing naturally within something, belonging to the fundamental nature of a thing. She has an intrinsic love for learning. His motivation is intrinsic. It comes from within, not from rewards. The intrinsic value of education goes beyond career benefits. My intrinsic motivation keeps me going. That intrinsic curiosity drives all great discovery. She is intrinsically kind. Now let us contrast it with extrinsic. Extrinsic means coming from outside, external motivation or reward. Extrinsic motivation depends on praise or money. He learned for extrinsic reasons at first, then fell in love with the subject. Too much focus on extrinsic rewards can undermine intrinsic passion. Are you motivated intrinsically or extrinsically? Intrinsic motivation lasts longer. When extrinsic rewards disappear, intrinsic joy remains. Let us now add a third word: innate. Innate means inborn, natural, existing from birth. She has an innate talent for language. His innate curiosity made him a lifelong learner. Some qualities are innate, others are cultivated. That empathy is innate. Her innate intelligence shows in everything she does. We all have innate gifts waiting to be discovered. Intrinsic, extrinsic, and innate together give you a sophisticated vocabulary for discussing human nature, motivation, and identity. These words belong in every advanced learner's personal lexicon. Now let us explore words to describe how ideas change over time. Obsolete means no longer used or relevant, replaced by something newer or better. That technology is obsolete. His approach became obsolete with changing times. Some vocabulary becomes obsolete as language evolves. Do not hold on to obsolete ideas. That method is outdated and obsolete. Learning keeps your knowledge from becoming obsolete. Now let us add the word burgeoning. Burgeoning means growing or developing rapidly, beginning to flourish. There is a burgeoning interest in online education. The city has a burgeoning creative community. His talent is burgeoning with every year that passes. A burgeoning vocabulary opens new doors. There is a burgeoning awareness of mental health. Her burgeoning confidence transformed her communication. Now let us add a third word: nascent. Nascent means just beginning to exist or develop. A nascent idea. A nascent movement. A nascent relationship full of potential. She described her interest in writing as nascent but passionate. The nascent technology showed enormous promise. It is a nascent concept. His nascent confidence was beautiful to witness. Every great achievement begins as something nascent. Obsolete, burgeoning, and nascent together describe the full life cycle of ideas. What has passed its time? What is actively rising? And what is only just beginning? Let us now explore words that carry deep respect and awe. The first is venerate. It means to regard someone or something with great respect and reverence. She is venerated in her community. He venerated his mentor deeply. Ancient cultures venerated nature. We should venerate those who have given their lives to service. She is venerated for her wisdom. To venerate is to honor with your whole heart. Now let us add a companion word, revere. To revere someone means to feel deep respect and admiration for them. She revered her grandmother above all others. He is revered as one of the greatest thinkers of his generation. We revere those who lead with integrity. She is widely revered. He revered the art form his entire life. To revere is to love with respect. And now our final word for this section, transcendent. It means going beyond ordinary limits, surpassing all expectations. A transcendent performance. Her kindness was transcendent. The experience was transcendent, far beyond what words can express. That was a transcendent moment. Her voice had a transcendent quality. Love is the most transcendent force in the world. And here, we arrive at the heart of what we have been building all lesson: language. When used at this level, becomes transcendent. It rises above simple communication and becomes art. It becomes understanding. It becomes connection. Now let us spend a moment with a cluster of advanced words about thought, judgment, and wisdom. The first word is discerning. It means having or showing good judgment and the ability to identify fine quality distinctions. She has a discerning eye for talent. He is a discerning reader who notices everything. A discerning listener hears not just words but intentions. She is discerning and thoughtful. His discerning nature made him an excellent editor. Develop a discerning appreciation for language. Now let us add the word perspicacious. This is a rare and beautiful word that means having a ready insight into things, being of keen understanding. She is perspicacious in her analysis. His perspicacious observations changed the entire discussion. A perspicacious reader sees what others miss. That was a perspicacious remark. She is known for her perspicacious thinking. Perspicacious learners progress faster because they notice patterns. Now let us add a third word, sagacious. It means having or showing keen mental discernment and good practical judgment. A sagacious leader. A sagacious decision that others came to appreciate later. She offered sagacious advice during the crisis. That was a sagacious choice. He is known for his sagacious counsel. True wisdom is sagacious and patient. Discerning, perspicacious, and sagacious all describe sharp, intelligent judgment at different levels of depth and register. Let us now move to words that describe the nature of situations and circumstances. The word precarious means uncertain, not securely placed, dependent on chance. His financial situation was precarious. She walked a precarious path between two choices. The agreement felt precarious from the beginning. The situation remains precarious. His health was precarious for several months. They maintained a precarious balance. Now let us add a complementary word: tenuous. Tenuous means very weak or slight, not strong or solid. The connection between the two events is tenuous. Their relationship was tenuous after the argument. His argument rested on tenuous foundations. The link is tenuous at best. She maintained a tenuous grip on the situation. His logic was tenuous, but presented with confidence. Now let us add a third word: volatile. Volatile means liable to change rapidly and unpredictably, especially for the worse. The market is volatile. Her emotions were volatile during the stressful period. Volatile situations require calm and decisive leadership. The atmosphere in the room was volatile. He worked in a volatile environment. Volatile times demand steady minds. Precarious, tenuous, and volatile together give you a complete vocabulary for describing instability and uncertainty. They are essential words for discussing the world with intelligence and precision. Now let us explore another rich area of C2 vocabulary: words that describe the way people communicate their ideas in writing and speech. The first word is nuanced. Nuanced means characterized by subtle distinctions, refinements, or shades of meaning. A nuanced argument takes multiple perspectives into account. Her nuanced understanding of the topic was evident in every sentence. He gave a nuanced response that neither fully agreed nor fully disagreed. That was a nuanced perspective. She spoke in a nuanced and measured way. Develop nuanced opinions by reading widely. Now let us add the word incisive. Incisive means intelligently analytical and clear thinking. An incisive comment that cut right to the heart of the issue. She is known for her incisive mind and sharp observations. His incisive critique helped improve the project enormously. That was an incisive observation. She offered an incisive analysis of the situation. Incisive thinking produces clear and powerful communication. Now let us add a third word: trenchant. Trenchant means vigorous or incisive in expression or style, making a strong impression by being very direct and clear. His trenchant criticism was difficult to hear, but ultimately valuable. She gave a trenchant assessment of the plan's weaknesses. Trenchant observations often make people uncomfortable, but they are necessary. His commentary was trenchant and honest. A trenchant review forces you to grow. She is known for her trenchant wit and sharp intelligence. Nuanced, incisive, and trenchant describe three different qualities of excellent analytical thinking. Nuanced thinking holds multiple perspectives. Incisive thinking cuts clearly to the truth. Trenchant thinking expresses that truth with force and directness. When you master all three, your English thinking becomes razor sharp. Let us now spend time with words that describe beauty, art, and the aesthetic experience. The first word is sublime. Sublime means of such excellence, grandeur, or beauty as to inspire great admiration or awe. The view from the mountain was sublime. Her performance was nothing short of sublime. There is something sublime about standing at the edge of the ocean. The music was sublime. She experienced a sublime sense of peace. That moment was sublime and unforgettable. Now let us add the word aesthetic. Aesthetic relates to beauty, art, or the appreciation of beautiful things. She has a refined aesthetic sensibility. The design was clean, minimal, and deeply aesthetic. His aesthetic choices in photography are extraordinary. Develop your own aesthetic. She has a beautiful aesthetic vision. The room was designed with great aesthetic care. Now let us add a third word, resonant. Resonant means evoking memories and emotions in a powerful and lasting way. A resonant piece of music. Her speech was resonant with meaning and feeling. The final image of the film was deeply resonant. His words were resonant and moving. That photograph is deeply resonant with loss and beauty. A resonant piece of writing stays with you for years. Sublime, aesthetic, and resonant together create the vocabulary of artistic appreciation. When you use them, your English enters the world of art, beauty, and the senses. Now let us explore words connected to change, renewal, and transformation. To metamorphose means to change completely in form or nature. The caterpillar metamorphoses into a butterfly. She metamorphosed from a shy student into a confident speaker. Over time, his understanding of the world metamorphosed entirely. She metamorphosed through her experiences. He watched the city metamorphose over the years. To metamorphose is to become something entirely new. Now let us add the word regenerate. To regenerate means to regrow, restore, or bring new life to something. The community regenerated after years of decline. She felt regenerated after a period of deep rest. A period of silence can regenerate your creativity. The city was regenerating rapidly. She returned from her travels feeling regenerated. Rest regenerates the mind and restores focus. Now let us add a third word, revitalize. To revitalize means to give new life, energy, or strength to something. The new program revitalized the school. She revitalized her language practice with new methods. A single inspiring conversation can revitalize your entire motivation. Revitalize your vocabulary every week. The project revitalized everyone's enthusiasm. She revitalized the organization with her vision. Metamorphose, regenerate, and revitalize describe three beautiful dimensions of change: deep transformation, natural renewal, and an energetic restoration of life. Let us now look at words that describe how we understand the world intellectually. The first is paradigm. A paradigm is a typical example or pattern, or a framework through which we understand something. A paradigm shift means a fundamental change in thinking. That discovery was a paradigm shift in science. Every generation adopts a new paradigm for understanding the world. Challenge the existing paradigm. She offered a new paradigm for thinking about education. A paradigm shift changes everything. Now let us add the word premise. A premise is a statement or idea that is accepted as being true and from which a conclusion can be drawn. The argument rested on a flawed premise. Her conclusion was sound, but the premise was questionable. If we accept this premise, then the conclusion follows logically. Let us examine the premise first. That premise does not hold up under scrutiny. A strong argument begins with a solid premise. Now let us add a third word, inference. An inference is a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. She drew a reasonable inference from the data. His inference was correct, although it was not explicitly stated. Do not state it as fact when it is only an inference. That is an interesting inference. She made a clear inference from the pattern. Be careful not to present an inference as a certainty. Paradigm, premise, and inference together form the backbone of logical thinking in English. Now let us explore the language of difficulty and perseverance. The first word is arduous. Arduous means requiring a great deal of effort and endurance. The journey was arduous but rewarding. Learning a new language is an arduous but beautiful process. She completed the arduous task without complaint. It was arduous, but worth every moment. The arduous climb tested every part of him. An arduous path often leads to the most meaningful destinations. Now let us add the word grueling. Grueling means exhausting and demanding, requiring extreme effort over a long period. The training schedule was grueling. She survived a grueling week of examinations. A grueling process that filters out only the most dedicated. That was a grueling experience. The grueling effort paid off in the end. She completed the grueling program with distinction. Now let us add a third word, taxing. Taxing means mentally or physically demanding, placing a heavy burden on a person. The work was taxing but deeply meaningful. She found the emotional conversations taxing but necessary. A taxing period of growth always precedes breakthrough. It was emotionally taxing. The taxing process revealed new strengths. Even the most taxing challenges eventually pass. Arduous, grueling, and taxing describe the landscape of difficulty at different intensities. Using all three shows emotional intelligence and expressive precision. Now let us look at words that describe personal strength and the qualities that carry us through hardship. The first word is stoic. Stoic describes someone who endures pain or difficulty without showing emotion or complaining. She remained stoic throughout the ordeal. His stoic attitude inspired everyone around him. Being stoic does not mean you do not feel. It means you choose not to be controlled by what you feel. He is naturally stoic. She maintained a stoic calm during the crisis. A stoic mind finds clarity where others find panic. Now let us add another word, indomitable. Indomitable means impossible to subdue or defeat, having a spirit that cannot be broken. She had an indomitable will. His indomitable spirit carried him through years of difficulty. An indomitable character is built through repeated adversity. She has an indomitable nature. His indomitable resolve inspired those around him. An indomitable spirit is the greatest asset any learner can have. Now, let us add a third word, undeterred. Undeterred means not discouraged or prevented from doing something. She was undeterred by the criticism. He continued undeterred despite the obstacles. Undeterred by early failure, she tried again and again. She remained undeterred. He was undeterred by the size of the challenge. Be undeterred. Every expert was once a beginner. Stoic, indomitable, and undeterred together describe the inner qualities of a person who does not give up. They belong to the vocabulary of courage, resilience, and quiet power. Now, let us explore a final, beautiful cluster of words. These are words that describe the quality of thought and the depth of understanding. The first is contemplative. Contemplative means expressing or involving prolonged thought and deep reflection. She sat in a contemplative silence for a long while. He has a contemplative personality that prefers reflection over action. A contemplative approach to learning leads to deeper understanding. She was in a contemplative mood. His contemplative expression told me everything. Take a contemplative pause before you respond. Now, let us add the word introspective. Introspective means tending to examine your own thoughts and feelings closely. She became more introspective after the experience. Introspective writing reveals the author's inner world. Introspective learners often make the fastest progress because they notice their own patterns. I am feeling introspective today. He is deeply introspective and emotionally aware. Introspective thought leads to honest self-knowledge. Now, let us add one more, meditative. Meditative means relating to or absorbed in meditation or deep thought, having a calm and reflective quality. The music had a meditative quality. She walked in a slow, meditative way along the shore. A meditative pause before speaking adds weight and wisdom to your words. His voice had a meditative calm. The poem had a meditative rhythm. She approached the conversation in a meditative and unhurried way. Contemplative, introspective, and meditative together describe three beautiful states of deep inner thinking. They belong to the language of wisdom, presence, and emotional depth. Let us now explore words that celebrate learning and the joy of intellectual growth. The first word is erudite. Erudite means having or showing great knowledge or learning. She is an erudite scholar. His writing is erudite but accessible. An erudite speaker makes even complex ideas feel clear. He is genuinely erudite. She writes in an erudite and elegant style. True fluency is built on becoming increasingly erudite. Now, let us add the word inquisitive. Inquisitive means curious, eager to learn or know things. An inquisitive mind never stops growing. She has always been inquisitive about the world. Children are naturally inquisitive, and we should never lose that quality. Stay inquisitive. Her inquisitive nature led her to great discoveries. An inquisitive learner asks questions others are afraid to ask. Now, let us add a third word, cerebral. Cerebral means intellectual, rather than emotional or physical. Strongly focused on thinking. She has a cerebral approach to problem solving. His humor is cerebral and dry. A cerebral discussion about language and philosophy is one of the great pleasures of advanced fluency. That conversation was wonderfully cerebral. He is cerebral in his approach. A cerebral mind finds beauty in complexity. Erudite, inquisitive, and cerebral together paint the portrait of a passionate intellectual. Someone who loves learning, asks questions, and thinks deeply. That portrait belongs to every person who reaches for C2 level English. Now let us explore a set of words that describe human connection and the qualities that make relationships meaningful. The first word is reciprocal. Reciprocal means given, felt, or done in return, shared mutually between two people or groups. Their respect was reciprocal. A reciprocal relationship brings equal benefit to both sides. Love is most beautiful when it is reciprocal. Their understanding was reciprocal. She hoped her feelings would be reciprocal. True friendship is reciprocal and unconditional. Now let us add a companion word, convivial. Convivial means friendly and lively, related to good company and pleasant conversation. The atmosphere was convivial and warm. She has a convivial personality that puts everyone at ease. It was a convivial gathering of old friends. He created a convivial environment at work. The evening was convivial and full of laughter. She is naturally convivial and draws people to her effortlessly. Now let us add a third word, cordial. Cordial means warm and friendly, expressing kindness and genuine goodwill. They maintained a cordial relationship despite their differences. She gave a cordial welcome to every guest. His tone was cordial and professional. The meeting ended on cordial terms. She was cordial even under pressure. A cordial manner opens doors that formality closes. Reciprocal, convivial, and cordial together describe the language of meaningful human connection. Balanced, warm, and genuinely kind. Let us now explore words connected to moral and ethical thinking. Integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to compromise even under pressure. A person of integrity does not change their values when it becomes inconvenient. He maintained his integrity even when it cost him professionally. Integrity is the foundation of trust. Act with integrity always. She is known for her unwavering integrity. Integrity means doing right even when no one is watching. Now let us add the word ethical. Ethical means relating to moral principles, or following rules of conduct that are considered correct and right. An ethical decision is one that aligns with both law and conscience. She made an ethical choice despite the financial consequences. We must have ethical standards in all professional environments. That decision was ethical and fair. He is known for his ethical approach to business. Ethics must guide every decision, especially the difficult ones. Now let us add one more word, principled. Principled means acting in accordance with morality and showing a consistent, strong commitment to your values over time. She is principled and does not bend to social pressure. He gave a principled response even when it was unpopular. A principled leader earns genuine respect because people know exactly who they are. She is principled and honest. His principled stand changed the course of events. Be principled in your language and your actions. Integrity, ethical, and principled together form the vocabulary of moral clarity. At the C2 level, these are not just vocabulary words. They are values expressed through language. And values expressed through language are what give your voice its deepest and most lasting power. Let us now build a complete practice scene using many of the words from today. Imagine a workplace where a new leader has just arrived. She is pragmatic in her decisions and judicious in her approach. Her manner is cordial and convivial, making everyone feel welcomed and valued. She is discerning about who she trusts and astute in her observations of the team's dynamics. Although the situation she inherited was precarious, she remained resolute and undeterred. She synthesized the information from multiple teams, corroborated the data, and presented a cogent and nuanced strategy. Her colleagues quickly recognized that she is both erudite and conscientious. She is not verbose. Her communication is pellucid and succinct. Her ideas are incisive, and her feedback is trenchant, but always delivered with compassion. She approaches difficult conversations in a contemplative way, pausing before she speaks and listening before she judges. And though the challenges ahead feel daunting, even Herculean at times, her steadfast and indomitable spirit makes them feel manageable. That extended scene contains more than 25 words from today's lesson, and every single one of them was used naturally and meaningfully. That is the goal, not to perform vocabulary as if it were a test, but to live inside it as if it were simply the way you think. Now let us explore one more beautiful family of words. Words that describe precision, truth, and the careful use of language itself. The first word is unequivocal. Unequivocal means leaving no doubt, perfectly clear and certain. Her answer was unequivocal. He gave an unequivocal commitment. The evidence was unequivocal and impossible to ignore. That is unequivocal. She made her position unequivocally clear. An unequivocal answer saves time and builds trust. Now let us add the word irrefutable. Irrefutable means impossible to deny or disprove, so solid that no argument can challenge it. The evidence was irrefutable. Her logic was irrefutable, and the case was settled. An irrefutable argument is the most powerful kind. That is an irrefutable fact. She presented irrefutable evidence. His reasoning was irrefutable and precise. Now let us add a third word, definitive. Definitive means done or reached in a final, conclusive way. The definitive answer. A definitive biography of the poet. That was the definitive moment that changed everything. This is the definitive version. She gave a definitive response. A definitive analysis leaves nothing open to question. Unequivocal, irrefutable, and definitive together give you the language of absolute clarity and certainty. When you need to express something with full conviction, these three words give your English its most powerful and authoritative voice. Now let us close with one more set of words that speak to awareness, presence, and the deep joy of understanding. The first is lucid. Lucid means expressed clearly and coherently, easy to understand. Her explanation was lucid and elegant. He has a lucid way of presenting complex ideas. A lucid mind produces lucid language. She is a lucid thinker. His writing is always lucid. Strive for lucid expression. Now let us add the word perspicuous. Perspicuous means clearly expressed and easily understood, leaving no room for confusion. Her analysis was perspicuous and precise. A perspicuous argument is one that any listener can follow. He spoke in a perspicuous and structured way. Keep your ideas perspicuous. Her explanation was perspicuous and well organized. A perspicuous communicator earns immediate trust. Now let us add one final word for today: limpid. Limpid means completely clear and transparent, free of anything that darkens or confuses. Her prose was limpid and beautiful. His eyes were limpid and sincere. A limpid explanation is like clean water, pure and easy to see through. Her voice was limpid and calm. The logic was limpid and irrefutable. Limpid clarity is the highest form of communication. Lucid, perspicuous, and limpid. These three words describe the most beautiful quality of all in language: perfect clarity. The kind of clarity that comes not from simplicity, but from deep understanding expressed with grace. That is the destination of every C2 learner, and you are already on your way there. Let us now do a final extended practice exercise that brings together everything we have explored today. Imagine you are writing a personal reflection about your English learning journey. I will give you a model paragraph. My journey toward English fluency has been both arduous and deeply fulfilling. There were moments when the task felt daunting, even Herculean. I felt disquieted by my own limitations. But I remained steadfast. I was deliberate in my practice. I approached every lesson with a diligent and conscientious mindset. Over time, my vocabulary began to burgeon. My intrinsic motivation grew stronger. I became more adaptable, more discerning. I learned to synthesize ideas, to extrapolate meaning from context, to engage in thoughtful discourse. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, something shifted. My English began to feel less like a foreign language and more like a natural extension of my thoughts. That shift was not dramatic. It was quiet, contemplative, and indelible. And I know now that the process is not over. It is nascent. It is still growing. And every day I choose to be present with it, the more transcendent it becomes. That is what C2 English sounds like. Not loud, not performative, but precise, warm, alive. Each word chosen with care, each sentence shaped by thought and feeling. At this level, your language becomes an extension of your character, and that is the most powerful thing a learner can ever achieve. Let us take one final pause together before we close. Breathe in slowly. Think about where you started today and how many new words you now carry with you. Think about how differently you might describe a difficult week, a beautiful moment, a complex decision, or a person you admire. You now have the words for all of it. You have the words to say that a challenge was arduous, that a memory is indelible, that a person is magnanimous, that an argument is cogent, that a feeling is poignant, and that a moment was transcendent. These are not just words, they are ways of seeing. Each one opens a door in your perception and allows you to walk through it into greater understanding. At the C2 level, language stops being a tool you use and becomes a world you inhabit. Every word you learn is a room in that world. And today, you furnished many new rooms with beauty, precision, and meaning. That is extraordinary. That deserves to be celebrated. So celebrate it. Be proud of how far you have come. And know that the journey continues tomorrow with even more richness waiting for you. Thank you so much for being here today. I am Elena, and every single lesson I make is made for you, the learner who cares deeply about growing. If today's lesson resonated with you in any way, please subscribe. Share it with someone who is on the same journey. And come back tomorrow because we will have something new waiting for you. Until then, stay curious, stay compassionate, and most importantly, keep speaking. Your voice deserves to be heard. See you soon.